Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom133.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom133.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom133.com. Go to freedom133.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom133.com.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company, General Steel.
800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. Boy, whew, I got a letter from the IRS yesterday, and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the tax doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the tax doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. Again, 800-989-1694.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Good morning, my fellow Americans and my fellow ecclesiastics out there. I am so glad that you're here this Thursday morning. I hope people aren't hearing the same thing I'm hearing. I'm hearing a little bit of a reverb this morning. I don't know why that is. Let's see if we can adjust that a little bit. There we go. Less reverb. I don't know. Are you guys hearing the reverb? I was not hearing it. Or I was hearing it. But it is what it is, I suppose. And, well, I'm just... Something is... if you do me a favor, if you are out there listening right now, give me a call at 603-835-3224. I'm just trying to make sure that this new system that we just put online late last night and tested fine, but I'm not sure if it's actually working. So if you give me a buzz at 603-835, if you can hear this, 835-3224, that's the number. And we will keep moving on, as it were. So anyway, it is Thursday, and it is January the 21st, in the 21st in the year of our Lord 2016. As I broadcast live from my bunkerized home studio somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is still live free or die. It is not big government or bust, and it's still big. Live free or die. It isn't big government or bust. I checked again today. Has not changed. They're still trying. There are some out there that are still trying to change it, but they haven't succeeded as of yet. So we are hoping that. Well, we're not just hoping. We're fighting that it won't. Now we've got our primary coming up in a couple of weeks, because now it's the 21st of January, which means basically literally 3 weeks have gone by in the first month of the new year, and we're seeing if it's actually we're seeing who actually is going to come out on top in New Hampshire. Now there are polls all over the place on this stuff, and it's really kind of interesting about who's on top and who's not, and who's like, for instance, all of a sudden Kasich is making a surge. Now I'm trying to figure out. Well, other than the fact that New Hampshire can be, a moderate haven, But there are still a lot of conservatives here. So I'm trying to figure out what is in it for the left to try to advance. Now Kasich really, I just don't think that he's got the ability to really make it past New Hampshire and Ohio. I just don't think his support base is there yet. I could be mistaken. I doubt it. But it's right. Well, I mean, the polls have got him pushing behind Trump. So, it's just 7 points behind Trump, putting him in a firm second position. And I'm not sure if I'm buying it. And it's hard because I actually live here. And, one of the strange things this season is there are not a lot of political support signs on people's lawns. I don't know what that means. I mean, there really isn't. However, I do see, I see Cruz signs. I see Trump signs. I see Sanders signs. In fact, people that live near me, and a neighbor has a Sanders sign. But I don't see any Kasich signs. I don't see any Chris Christie signs. I don't see any Jeb Bush sign. Well, I did see one Jeb Bush sign. I think that was down in Manchester. But I don't see a lot of signs for a lot of these second and third tier candidates. I don't see a lot of signs for Hillary. I don't see a lot of signs, period. It seems like there are fewer. I don't know if that means that people in New Hampshire are less excited this go around than they have been in the past primaries. But they just don't. There's not a lot of signs around. And I'm not going to try to read into it because there's so much you can read into it if you actually are going to try. But people used to constantly put on their lawn who they wanted to support, and they're not doing that right now. For whatever reason, they're not doing the political support thing. At least not with the signs, not in their yards. Not on their lawns, not on their houses, not on their businesses. Not even. There's not even a lot. Now, I don't know what it's like where you are, but here in New England, people are very proud of, I guess you could say, tagging or marking their vehicle with their political choice. I mean, it's. Look, you'll still drive around and see people. Still people driving around with bumper stickers for Obama and Biden 08. That means they have to have a car that's that old, yes, but people, they don't hesitate to put stuff like that on their cars, bumper stickers, and keep them on. It's really I think a couple of weeks ago, just after Christmas, I saw a car driving around that had a Gore for President bumper sticker on it. Like, well, at least that person is trying to be frugal. The car is old, but the problem is I thought Gore was all behind global warming, and this person is driving an older vehicle that is it doesn't have all the energy-saving technology that today's cars have. So are they really saving money, or are they saving the planet? And I don't think they're doing either because, their gas mileage probably isn't what it could be. The MPG. And anyway, if you are out there and you wish to give a call, especially if you are a person who is, I know yesterday we had a lot of people calling in who support Trump. I get that. If you are out there, now understand, I have not endorsed anyone, and I know people are out there thinking, well, Rod, you endorsed Trump then, haven't you? No, I can't. I don't determine who calls in and who they express their love for. their admiration for, who they think is going to be the best president ever. So if you are in the camp of Rubio or Christie or Carson, speaking of Carson, condolences and thoughts and prayers go out to the Carson camp. Evidently, one of their campaigners or campaign staffers was killed in a freak auto accident the other day, and I guess Carson is he suspending his campaign totally because is it? I'm not exactly sure. I haven't gotten all the details yet about that. I do know that a campaign staffer was evidently killed in an auto accident. And hearts and prayers go out to that person's family and the Carson campaign. It's always a shock when something like that happens. It was a young man, I guess, not very old. But if you are a part of any of the other presidential campaigns, even if you're a Hillary or Bernie supporter, going to give you fair warning. You better be knowledgeable in why you support those two. But if you're a part of any campaign anywhere, and even if you're one of those obscure people, like here we have there's a gentleman that goes by the name of Vermin Supreme, and he wears a boot on his head as a hat. So even if you are any of those fringe or extreme candidates or campaigns, give a call, 603-835-3224. Let's see what people are actually thinking and feeling and doing out there when it comes to campaigning for somebody else, other than the obvious Cruz and Cruz and Trump people. Want to hear more from other. Look, if you still support Trump, feel free to call in and tell me why you support Trump. I know there are people that are Sarah Palin came out yesterday in support of the Donald. Or was it Tuesday? I forget. All the days run together so much now. Things just go by so fast. In any case, Palin earlier this week came out because today's Thursday, right? Not Wednesday. Yes. When you're having so much fun, and you're constantly on the go and moving and busy, days kind of run together. But Palin, as everybody knows by now, came out and endorsed Trump. And nothing wrong with that, but I find it interesting that the Cruz people are now trying to eviscerate Palin. Now, I want you guys to remember, all you Cruz people, all you Cruzites, if it wasn't for Sarah Palin, Ted Cruz might not have gotten elected in Texas. Remember that. Look, I know Americans have, and voters have, very short memories. You act like just because a person... Now, I'm not saying that what Palin did was right or wrong. What I am calling people out on is to say as if just because they support this person once, they're always supposed to support that person over everybody else. Well, that's improbable, impossible, and illogical. I mean, look, it's just like in once you get past the primaries, it goes to the general election. Now, I didn't support Mitt Romney to be the nominee back in 2012, but as soon as he was the nominee, I supported Romney over Obama. But you people would have it seem like, well, geez, since I didn't support Romney and whoever the candidate was at the time that I supported, I should stay supporting them and I shouldn't support Romney. So I guess what you're saying is that Cruz should be the person that, because Palin supported him before, then she should be supporting him now. But see, there's two different things. She supported him for the Senate, not for president. Now, it is possible that Sarah Palin thought that Ted Cruz could be the greatest senator that this country has ever seen. I'm just putting it out there like this so you fully understand, because I'm getting a little tired of hearing all you Cruisites just pounding on Sarah Palin all of a sudden. You're being hypocritical, plain and simple. Sarah Palin could have believed that Ted Cruz would have been the greatest senator on the planet ever in the history of this country. But that's senator. It does not mean that she would believe that he would be a good president. They're two different jobs, people. They are two different jobs. She believes that Ted Cruz is a good, solid senator. Maybe she thinks he should stay a senator. And thus, she's giving her support for president, a completely different job, to somebody else. And there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't make her less intelligent, doesn't make her more intelligent, but it does mean that she does not follow, one, the party line. Two, she's not playing politics by just sticking by someone no matter what that person wants to do. Okay, so this whole notion that what I'm seeing is Palin is an idiot and Palin is this. Are you guys idiots? No, look, I'm calling out the right on this. I'm talking about conservatives and other Republicans on the right side. I'm asking you bluntly, are you freaking idiots? Are you playing the same game that the Democrats often play? Look, you're going to have to, if this is what you're going to do, you're going to have to explain it to me. And I hear people, and it's not just on my program, but I hear people calling in to Rush and to Hannity and to Levin and to all these other talk shows, and I hear the most people from Trump calling in and saying that why they're going for Trump. I do not hear very much from the rest of the GOP camp. If you are so strong behind Cruz that you're going to call Palin names, why aren't you out there on the talk show circuit calling people like Trump's people? You want to try to convince others that your candidate's the best, but you don't want to do the work. You just want to say, well, just because I support somebody, everybody else should support him. And then when that person who once supported him for a different, that's like saying, okay, I'm going to support this person to be dog catcher. You know, he went to school to be a dog catcher. He's got a college degree in dog catching. He's going to make a great dog catcher. And then one day he decides that he's going to run for governor. But he doesn't know how to be a governor. So just because I backed him for dog catcher, now I'm supposed to automatically back him for governor? When there's a perfectly good other candidate who would make a much better governor? No. That's not, but that is what you're telling Sarah Palin. Oh, Sarah, just because you helped, you supported, you backed Ted Cruz for the Senate seat here in Texas. Oh, now you got to do it for when he's running the presidency. Maybe she thinks Ted is going to be an awful president. I don't know. But the whole point is that you acting like a freaking childish Democrat by calling her names and saying you're falling right into the hands of the left. Thank you very much. I'm calling you out, people. Plain and sorry, that's the way it is. And I would be saying the same thing no matter who it is. I have been, we hear all these endorsements that come down for different people, and we hear some other people on the right, Republicans, talk about how idiotic that person is for supporting that particular candidate. And I think, what now? If they in the past may have supported certain other candidates that people, you same people were supportive of. And they were the most brilliant people on the planet. Now all of a sudden, Sarah Palin. I remember the stuff Sarah Palin was. People said about Sarah Palin when she endorsed Cruz for Senate down in Texas. Oh yeah, they were all for the former Alaskan governor to come in and campaign for Cruz. She's wonderful. She's gorgeous and smart and all this positive stuff. And now she's going for Trump. Those same people are, she's an idiot. She's a bimbo eruption. She might as well be a Democrat. Oh, she's a liberal, and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, where is this coming from? simply because she believes Donald Trump would make a better president than Ted Cruz. But she thought Ted Cruz would make an awesome senator, but now she, two different jobs, but because now she's not following, the same mantra that, Ted's going to be, just because Ted is a great senator, he's now going to be a great president. It doesn't work that way. Now, I'm not putting down Ted Cruz. I'm going after you Ted Cruz supporters, because y'all need to back down and shut the hell up about with this name calling and stuff. And y'all better step it up and tell us why you support Ted Cruz, because I don't hear you out there. I mean, I hear Trump's people all over the place, but I don't hear any Cruz people. I mean, this. You can't do this and expect to win the general election in November. Do you see Democrats doing this? No, you don't. I have no. It's kind of like this. It's kind of like this Trump and the 2 Corinthians thing. I am getting people who are trying to eviscerate Trump and me because Trump said 2 Corinthians, and they're trying to say the way they say it is right. Like, who the hell are you to determine how you pronounce the name of the book? By the way, I mean, let's be clear about something. If you're saying 2 Corinthians, which some people think, well, that's the proper way to say it because my pastor says it that way, you're wrong. If you want to say that Donald Trump was wrong in saying 2 Corinthians, and because you say 2 Corinthians, you're wrong. And I want you to go look it up the proper way, because it's the second letter to the Corinthians is how you actually call the book. The first letter to the Corinthians and the second letter to the Corinthians, not 2 Corinthians. So, this is what I'm talking about. People are trying to nitpick on these little itty-bitty issues about stuff, and when they're nitpicking, you're wrong too. Just saying. This is just absolutely insanity. We don't need you on the right to start nitpicking at another right candidate. I mean, the left will do that for you. But now you're doing their job, so they don't have to. Thank you very much. Oh, Donald Trump doesn't know anything. Who cares? Donald Trump said that he believes in the Bible and he believes in Jesus Christ. He never said he was an evangelical. But let me tell you something. Evangelicals are not going to win the election. Evangelicals are not going to win this election. There's not enough of you. I mean, if you want to be Bible thumpers, that is fine. Trust me, I understand it. I know the Bible. I believe in Jesus Christ. He's my Lord and Savior. I get all that you want somebody who believes the same as you do. But there aren't enough people who do believe the same as you do. If you're going to go out there and support Cruz because you believe he's an evangelical like you're an idiot. Because first of all, he's not. And second of all, there aren't enough of you around to get him elected on that one issue. So you had better have a good, solid. I mean, I hear this all the time. That, well, we need a Christian or a Jesus believing person to be elected. Really? Is that in the Bible? Is that in the Bible? That only Christians should be elected to anything? Or is it in the Bible that only Christians who believe in your denomination should be elected? So only maybe Presbyterians should be elected, or maybe only a Southern Baptist, or God forbid it's a Southern Baptist. Maybe it should be a First Baptist person only. I mean, is that where we've gotten to? I hope not.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Power Swabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is Ben Gordon with Power Swabs, and if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Power Swabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Power Swabs risk-free, call 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Start training for a new career in as little as 18 days. National EMS Institute's innovative boot camp program will train you for a new career. Learn to respond to emergency situations and become a certified EMT in just 18 days. National EMS Institute guarantees 100% job placement. Visit www.nationaleMSinstitute.com today to learn more about our 18-day boot camp. Or call us at 1-800-497-6732. National EMS Institute.com.
When you're ready to take the edge off a hectic day, I suggest you start with a little music from Franz Black.
I guess there's lots of ways to look at things that don't seem right.
No Worries has just been released on iTunes and Amazon.
It's gonna be alright.
You can find Franz Black and his music on his website, franzblack.com. Franz Black.com.
It's gonna be alright.
Bring the rain.
603-835-3224 is the number to call should you wish to join me here on the Rod Eccles Show this Thursday morning. Your new morning routine. Welcome back to everyone. Glad you are here. Glad you're sticking around. Kasich has got a bunch of numbers here for polls, and as I was saying, I'm a little disappointed in the right side, in the right side. Kind of remember the song. Well, I'm not even going to go down the memory lane with songs from the 80s. Although the other day I posted on my personal page a song going back, Etta James, and it was just the talent that was and it's not like the talent is not available today, but the talent that was actually out there back then was just absolutely amazing. And what we have today, not to say that there aren't some equally talented people like the talent back then, but it's not enough. There are so many wannabes and hacks and untalented people doing things that they should not be doing, or being promoted in areas that they should not. No, Justin Bieber as a 16-year-old, he was okay. But as a 22-year-old, listening to the stuff that he's putting out lately, what is he, still 16? This is what I talked about yesterday about today's generation not growing up. I know there are people out there that are in their 40s and 50s that love New Kids on the Block. But for crying out loud, those guys are now, in their 40s? They're not kids anymore. But they're running around singing, going back to their glory days, singing new songs that are boy band songs, as if they were 20 again. It's one thing to go back and sing your old hits. Nostalgia stuff, I get that. But at some point, if you're making new music, it should reflect your maturity. Well, I guess they haven't really matured because they still sound like they did 20 years ago. And this is the problem that we have, and I'm illustrating this now. This is the same problem we have with a lot of other bands. Now think about it. You've got all these old-time bands. I'm talking from the 70s and 80s. They're running. Sure, I know. I get the nostalgia stuff. You want to hear stuff from Journey, because Journey, they were huge back then, and the Rolling Stones and all that. I heard the Rolling Stones are going to do another album. By the way, are you kidding me? Really? It's not that they're. Well, I never really thought the Rolling Stones were all that talented to begin with, but I'm just not a Rolling Stones fan. But are you really wanting to hear the same stuff from a bunch of 70-year-olds now? I mean, and they're going to call it new music. At some point, you've got to move on, move past, and grow up. At some point, you've got to say, well, I was a teeny bopper. I did that stuff when I was 16, but I'm like 36 now, and I can do some of that older stuff as nostalgic, because they were hits and people liked it. But my new stuff is not going to sound anything like the old stuff. My new stuff is good, but they don't do that. Most of these artists today that stick around for that long, I don't know how they stick around that long, they don't do that. They keep trying to put up the same old crap, and then they wonder, and frankly, then they wonder why their hits aren't as big today as they were back. Madonna's falling into that trap right now. And what is it? She was late getting on stage by hours a few nights ago. I guess one night she was drunk on stage. I don't know, but Madonna's falling into that trap. It's not as if Madonna was a huge a talent to begin with. Yeah, she had good music, decent. You could dance to it and skate to it and all that kind of stuff. She was as they would say, she's all right. But she still tries. She still tries to put out stuff that kind of sounds like the stuff she used to put out. She's not 20-something anymore. What's his name? You can't do duets with Justin Timberlake and automatically think you're going to have a hit. Doesn't work. I know I'm probably going to piss some people off, but I don't think Justin Timberlake has any talent at all, actually, when it comes to music. He actually wasn't a bad actor. I saw him in a couple of movies. He actually wasn't half. He was, at least as good, or if not better, than some of this other acting so-called talent we've got out there in that age group. He wasn't half bad. Not Oscar category, but he wasn't half bad. Not that I would care about the Oscars, but Oscar caliber, he'd probably win a People's Choice Award because they wouldn't care if his name is JT or JB, whatever it is, JT. Yeah, Justin. That's not. He owns MySpace, right, people? Unless he sold it, but he bought MySpace for like a song. I'm only being half facetious there. He got it for, I think it's him and his real brothers. And if his partners are his real brothers, then I've known that Justin Timberlake's name is not his government name. That's his stage name, and it goes way. I don't know why he chose Timberlake to. He's a Disney kid, right? Look what Disney has done to the American psyche. Look, if I'm going to complain about people not growing up, well, there is a company that is not solely responsible, but has a large bears a large part of the responsibility, and that is Disney. Disney is perpetually, it's kind of like remember the group in the 80s called Menudo? Yeah, Ricky Martin was a member of Menudo. Ricky, he doesn't make new music anymore, does he? I haven't heard anything from Rick. He's too busy with his twins. And yeah, for those of you who don't know by now, that Ricky Martin actually came out a long time ago as gay, being a homosexual. And I know there are women out there that still think that Ricky Martin is hot. Girls went crazy over that Livin' La Vida Loca thing. That was Ricky Martin, right? Yeah, Livin' La Vida Loca. Oh, Ricky, oh my goodness. And He didn't play for that team, so but it's kind of like one of my favorite TV characters of all time is also played by a gay guy. Yeah, How I Met Your Mother, Barney Stinson, the Womanizer, is played by an openly gay man. Which is, I guess you could say, well, maybe Doogie Howser, Neil Patrick Harris has some acting talent. You could say that if people are buying it, and he was probably even though the show did not revolve around Barney Stinson, you could arguably say he was the most popular character of the program, and it really revolved around Ted. But I think Barney was by far the most popular character on that sitcom. But hey, you could take that type of thing and you can apply it to politics. You can take that type of thing and apply it to Sarah Palin and Ted Cruz and Donald Trump. Maybe everybody thinks, especially on the Ted Cruz side, maybe the program, the sitcom, is geared around. Ted Cruz is the main character, but he's not the most popular. Ted Cruz is Ted from, How I Met Your Mother. Donald Trump, well, I probably shouldn't make this comparison, but Donald Trump is Barney. Just say, I know that there are some people that think that Donald Trump is kind of like Barney. He cheated on this wife with this one, and he's always had beautiful women around. I know, yeah, you could say it, kind of ironic that I was able to put those two together. But now I'm probably going to get calls from the Trump people trying to bashing me for comparing Donald Trump to Barney Stinson. Look, like I said, I like Barney. He was my favorite character on that sitcom. The bro code. I think Donald Trump has a bro code. And just saying. And Sarah Palin, you cannot blame Sarah Palin for wanting to support Barney. Hey, the left, they have Bernie feel the burn. Why can't we feel the barn? I guess. I don't. But life imitates art, and art imitates life. And you can find, if I have to make comparisons so people can understand, because I know there are some people out there thinking, Sarah Palin doesn't like Ted Cruz. No, Sarah Palin likes Ted Cruz, but she just likes Trump better. But she supported him before. Because I know there are people out there that cannot believe or understand that you can support a person for one job, but not for another job. In politics. I don't know. I mean, they fully understand it when it goes into the private sector. But for some reason, when it comes to politics, they lose their minds. They can't figure it out. They can't understand it. How can you support him for one political position, but not another one? It doesn't make any sense. That's how these people are thinking. Because for some reason, it's supposed to be different. It's not different. Look, understand that these politicians right now, what they're doing is interviewing for a job. Do you understand that? I know my ecclesiastites understand it, but the rest of you who are joining this program understand that these candidates are interviewing for a job. And you have the right to question them and make sure that they give you an answer. Not an answer you want to hear, but a truthful answer. People need to start people need to start thinking more on the lines of a manager, a hiring manager. Put your bull caca, glasses on so you can detect some bull caca from these people, and grow up a little bit. Look, you can't be a kid when you go into the voting booth. You can't sit back and blame everybody else for your condition. You got to start taking the bull by the horns and saying, okay, I need to find somebody to put in this position. It's just like a company. You can't do it all. There are some people that you just have to go out there and you have to find and hire for a particular position. Boards of corporations, they have to go and hire CEOs to run the day-to-day operations of the company. They interview them. Potential CEOs don't come in and tell the board members what they're going to do. Look, we're going to do this, this, and this, and you are going to hire me. Well, why do we accept that when it comes to politicians? If you don't like what one says, then you don't hire them. But it doesn't mean you don't ask the questions. You ask a lot of questions. I don't, this is, I just don't understand this whole issue of celebritizing our employees. That's exactly what these people are. Your senators, your congressmen, your governors, the president, they are the American people, the American citizens' employees. But they run around acting like they are our boss. They're not. It's the other way around. They work for us, we hire them, and we can fire them. We don't work for them. And it's about damn time that we the people actually get our kahunas back and say, hold on, time out. No, you will do what we tell you to do because you do work for us, and we're tired of you making these special rules that only benefit you and not the rest of us. You work for us. We pay your salary. We pay your benefits. Oh, and speaking of your benefits, why don't we act like the board members of a major corporation and start cutting this crap from these people? We have the power to do that, folks. You really do. You don't have to sit by and take this anymore. So you people who are running around talking about, well, Sarah Palin's an idiot well, if you want to have a celebrity, go to Hollywood. Celebrity is not in your politics. You're talking about your employee, a potential employee. And this goes for Trump fans too. I don't care who's on top or who's not on top. Your job is not to go out there and trumpet these people like they're some kind of hero and some kind of god, because you do not work for them. And that's exactly the reason why we got Washington the way it is now. Because too many Americans have decided, well, we must work for them. Like Chris Rock, Obama's our boss. No, we are his boss. They work for us. And when you start acting like you are the boss, you are not going to start running around out there calling somebody else a name because they support somebody else. That's like, hey, I like this person, wish this person was the CEO of Walmart instead of that person. And if another CEO comes in and says, well, I want this person, person A to be the CEO of Walmart, but you want person B, you start calling, that supporter of person A, and that makes no sense. That's idiotic. You don't do that. Why? Because you have a clear, defined role as an employee of, say, Walmart. But you lose your minds and turn these people into celebrities when it comes to politics. You would never view your CEO, well, I guess maybe people saw Steve Jobs as a celebrity of sorts, but we don't have many celebrity CEOs of companies. We don't. Hey, take, for instance, we got a CEO of a major corporation now that people really can't stand for the most part. Mark Zuckerberg. Anybody like Mark? There aren't many people that like Zuck. So, so they're not treating him as a celebrity. So what is this whole notion that we got to start treating and we got to keep treating our politicians and our politicos as celebrities? And thus making it seem like we work for them instead of they work for us. So hey, if we work for them, then they can impose any type of policy they damn well please and get away with it. But on the other hand, if we make them understand that they work for us and they do something that we do not like or want or causes the corporation of the United States of America to dip or go down, we can fire them at any time. And it's about time we started doing stuff just like that, especially, like Nancy, stop re-electing the same people. That's what I really need to be saying. Stop electing the same damn people. Because these same damn people are the ones that are causing all the problems in the first place. So when you stop doing that and you start getting real people, the real people, back into, people who are going to actually understand that they work for you instead of you working for them, well, then that's when things are really going to change. Things aren't going to change until then. And so you better understand that this whole notion, I'm tired of people. Look, if you're going to call here and start bashing somebody else for what they believe in or who they support, I'm going to cut you off and I'm going to call you out. Because that's not what it's about. Give me a positive reason for your support for another candidate. I don't want to hear a negative reason for somebody else is not a reason to vote for your candidate. I want to hear something. It's because that's what Democrats do all the time. They rarely give you a reason to vote for them, but they will give you a plethora of reasons, or try to give you a plethora of reasons, to not vote for somebody else. Now, I don't want to hear the reasons for not voting. I can figure out the reasons for not voting. You don't need to tell me. I want to hear reasons and see reasons to vote for you. I want to hear reasons why I should support Cruz. I want to hear reasons why I should support Trump. I want to hear reasons why I should support Rubio or Carson or whoever it is. I want reasons to support. I don't want to hear any more reasons why you can't. Trump isn't a true conservative. Big freaking hairy deal. Maybe he's not. But that doesn't tell me who I should support, now does it? Doesn't give me a reason why to support somebody else, does it? That's all I hear. Trump isn't a true conservative. Great. So who's a true conservative? Why do you think so? And why aren't you focusing on that instead of focusing on hating on Trump? That's childish. This is the same thing you do when you were in 6th grade. But it's not what you do when you're an adult. Well, I can't believe Sarah Palin likes Trump. I mean, Trump isn't even a real conservative in the first place. What is she, a ditz? She's a dunce, man. She's just so stupid. She doesn't get it. That's what you Cruz people are sounding like right now. And you know what? You're turning off people to your candidate. Because you're not telling them reasons to support Cruz. Now, understand this. Only 31, there's a CNN poll out today. Only 31% of New Hampshire GOPers have made up their minds on who they're going to support. Did you not hear me? Less than a third of GOP voters in this state, my home state, state of New Hampshire, have made up their mind on who they're going to support on February 9th. You've got more than 2/3 of them out there that have not made up their minds. And what are you doing? Instead of running out there and telling them why they should be supporting your candidate and connecting on that level, you're calling Sarah Palin names and trying to tell them that Donald Trump is not a conservative, a true conservative. We don't give a rip. That's not the important thing. Oh, Donald Trump's not a true conservative? Oh, well, geez, huh. Well, okay, but who is? Nobody's telling me who is a true conservative, because everybody's saying that Donald Trump isn't, but we don't know who is. And that's exactly why you got 2/3 of the people here in New Hampshire who are undecided. Because all of you people out there who are supporting these other candidates are running around acting like a bunch of 12-year-olds instead of acting like adults and trying to convince people by telling them the reasons why to support your favorite candidate. This is why. Look, I put out the call since yesterday to have all you wonderful people who are not Trump supporters to call into this program. I've been asking you for months. None of you have. And you know something? You're not calling the other talk show host either. Sure, you listen to Rush, and every once in a while you get somebody in that talks about Cruz, but what's the first thing that they do? They bash Trump. That's what little kids do. 90% of the supporters that are calling into these talk shows, at least 90%, are for Trump. Trump's people are, and they're not. You know what? Most of them, the first thing they do is not bash another candidate. The first thing they do is try to tell the host exactly why they support Trump. Oh no, but not you Cruz people and not you Christie people. The first thing you do when you get on the air is you bash somebody else, usually Trump. I've noticed it. It's disgusting and it's childish. You might as well be a freaking Democrat if you're going to do that. But, it's just... People want to believe in somebody. But in order to believe in somebody, they got to have the reasons why. And those reasons have to be positive. They can't be negative. Be a Democrat if you want to do that. It's plain and simple.
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom133.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom133.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom133.com. Go to freedom133.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom133.com.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company, General Steel.
800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. Boy, whew, I got a letter from the IRS yesterday, and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the tax doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the tax doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. Again, 800-989-1694.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge. Ecclesiastites. It is I, your lovable host, L. Rod, coming to you live from my bunkerized home studio somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is still live free or die. It is not big government or bust. And yes, I looked again today, as I do every day, and it has not changed. It is still live free or die. And we're not expecting it to change anytime soon, even though there are some rumblings out there from some liberal Democrats in this wonderful state who want to change it. But we're not going to do that. The call-in number this morning, as is every morning, is 603-835-3224. And we're going to go to the phones right now to see who is on the line. Caller, you are live on the air. Go ahead. Hello. I love it when people do not answer their phone. Why are you calling the show if you're not going to answer? Just asking. So, anywho, if people don't want to answer the phone, I guess I don't know why. Look, you can't clog up the phone lines here. Some people try to. I've had that happen once. Back when I was on another network, Blog Talk Radio. And it was an interesting happenstance, if you will. Because BTR, with certain packages, you can have only like 5 people at a time online, on hold. Well, this one program that I did one day, all of a sudden these people started flooding my call-in line. Now, what they didn't realize was, just like anything else, is one, I had a package with BTR where my limit wasn't 5. I had more than 5. But 2, it was that you can hang up on people to free up a line. Why do they think that you can't? I just, they're funny. Let's see, we got the caller back. Let's see if he's coming online. Hello, you're live on the Rod Eccles Show. Go. Hello. Same number. Anytime you want to jump in. Yes, you. I just heard you. Come on. Speak up. Okay, let's give him 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gave you time. Oh, well. White House has, last night, I was watching this movie. And again, it had to do with people being, I think this is a 617 number. Go ahead. You're on the Rod Eccles Show. One more time. Same number, giving you one more shot. Yes, I can hear you there. You're pounding something. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Stop wasting my time. This is getting ridiculous. Anyway. Yeah, call back if you want. I know the number now. You're not getting through. 3 times, 3 strikes, you're out. In any case, last night I was watching a movie on HBO or Hulu, I think. Anyway, it was the movie Unfriended. Now, what it turned out to be like was some sort of Blair Witch-ish type of movie. And here I thought it was going to be something else about Facebook, but it wasn't about Facebook. They were actually using Skype. I'm like, what? Anyway, it was about, and this is this. They had friends. It was they. I'm not going to give away the ending of the movie, but the premise is that evidently they were part of something that embarrassed another student to the point where the other student thought that the only way that they could get out of it and save face, whatever, was to kill themselves. So they committed suicide, and that they not only did they put the shaming video up on YouTube, but after the person killed themselves, they caught the suicide on live on tape, and they put the tape of the suicide on YouTube. And so now that they were going to be punished for doing that, and a group of 5 or 6 high school friends, and they were all going to be punished for doing that. Now here's the problem. They were being punished by themselves being, let me put it to you in terms that they can understand, being killed. And it's not what the Scots wear. It's not a Scottish skirt. It's not a skirt, it's a kilt. No, but they were getting killed. Killed, for those of you in Rush Limbaugh's Rio Linda. But yet, and still, they were going to fight and complain about who was cheating on who. I don't know how much more immature you can get than that, but I'm making the connection because that's what we have going on in politics. It's not that there's fighting. It's not that there's, complaining and fighting and political backstabbing, all that kind of stuff. That's been happening since the dawn of mankind, actually. And it's no different for this country. I mean, politics was brutal back in the days of the founders, as it was probably even more brutal, verbally so back then. But the difference between, John Adams and John Kasich is that John Adams and his supporters were adults. They acted like they were people over the age of 30. Today, we've got a bunch of politicians in their 50s and 60s that act like they're 16. Literally. And their supporters are doing the same thing. They're acting like they're freaking 16. Sarah Palin is such a dip crapola, man. Can't believe she went over and supported Trump. She's such an idiot, such an airhead. What? Grow up. Speaking of growing up, this is something I've never heard of this online publication before, but it's got a pretty good following. It's called The Intercept.com. The Intercept, INTERCEPT. White House asked social media companies to look for terrorists. Now, we know that some of this was actually going to go on, but look, if you've ever used Facebook, if you've ever been on Facebook, then you know what I'm talking about on this part, because I know a lot. Some of you have complained quite loudly with being, so shall we say, censored on Facebook. Yeah, it's just the way they do it. You've been censored. In other words, you've been put in, people refer to it as Facebook jail. How many of you have been in Facebook jail? I believe I was in Facebook probation a couple of times. I don't know. Not very often do I. I don't know why. I mean, it's maybe I don't attack individual people. I don't try to overshare or overpost. I know one time it seemed like I couldn't share anything. For most of my, I could share, but I could only share from my personal page. I couldn't share any of my pages, or I couldn't share to any of my. That was kind of weird. I couldn't share to any of my pages, and I couldn't share anything from my pages to anywhere. But I could share my personal page. So if I would have taken something that was on one of the other pages, my pages, and put it onto my personal page, I could share it to there. Funny thing, I couldn't share anything from my personal page to my pages, but I could share stuff from my pages to my personal page. So if I shared, but I couldn't share anything from my pages, business pages, to any place else. So if I shared the content that was on my business pages to my personal page, then I could share my personal page with anybody or any other page. I didn't and I was trying to figure that out, and I wrote, I sent Facebook a message, and I was explaining it. I'm like, I've never overshared or overdone anything. I don't understand it. And about 12 hours later, it was fixed. So I guess I was kind of put into Facebook probation for some reason. I don't know. But I know a lot of people get put in Facebook jail, where they can't share anything, anytime, anywhere. They can't even add new friends. And I love the point when Facebook sends you the message, do you know this person? You only accept requests from people you know, and only request friends of people you know. Like, really? How the hell are you going to know if I know somebody or not? And is it any of your... I don't know how you have that policy when the whole point is to share information. To share fun, share photos, share what you do, share yourself, network. How is it that you're only supposed to talk to people that you know? That's not sharing anything. I never understood that lame policy out of Facebook. But so you've got people sharing all kinds of stuff. So how is Facebook supposed to determine, what is a terrorist type of activity and what isn't? Because they're shutting down a lot of people simply because of their opinion. If you don't like them, I don't know, is being anti-Islam or anti-Muslim, is that going to be construed as being, a part of counterterrorism? Are you a terrorist because you don't like terrorists? Because this is what seems to be happening. A lot of people on the right, especially, and I haven't heard many people on the left being banned or deleted or put in Facebook jail. I'm sure it probably happens sometimes, but I hear a lot of people on the right who are being put in Facebook jail, and some of them are being put in Facebook jail on a consistent basis. Every time they, it seems like they can't even share a simple little thing that isn't even politically related before they get put in Facebook jail. Do not overshare, basically, or something like that. I don't get this stuff. I mean, you can't put these kinds of people in charge. They're not trained to do this type of thing, but this is what the Obama administration likes to do. They like to foment division and hatred among the American people. And we American people are so childish that it is just like that movie Unfriended. We've got Americans dying. They had friends being killed right on Skype while they're all connected together. And yet they're going to argue about who's cheating on who. Americans are going to argue about, oh, well, geez, you must be a domestic terrorist. You're such a right-winger extremist. Are you kidding me? Our nation has gotten to the point where we're that childish? I see this stuff, and I throw up my hands. And like, the people who are acting like the adults, they're the ones running and ruining the country. While everybody else is running around trying to have a good old-fashioned, time, spending all their time on Facebook and Twitter and other places and just ignoring the reality and sitting back and playing video games and saying, oh, I wish I was 16 again. Well, you're not. You're 55 years old. Grow up already. Take some responsibility. You got a bunch of 20-somethings out there running around saying, yeah, I want free college, I want free this and free that. No, grow up and get a job, any job. Do something. Even if you're not making a lot of money, just do it. Attempt to do it. Try to do the one thing that people don't do is they don't try anymore. You got to try to do something. And stop complaining all the time and not paying attention to the reality of what's going on around you. All this little itty-bitty, who's dating the Kardashians is irrelevant. Whether or not Bruce Jenner is a girl or a boy is irrelevant. You get distracted. I mean, it's okay to be distracted every once in a while, but for crying out loud, to make it the main point of focus of your day is just so pathetic. This is how the administration is able to get away with stuff, is because people will complain. Look, I understand that people get put in Facebook jail. But let me tell you something. Facebook is a private entity. It is not a government-owned entity. And quite frankly, what you have to understand, and I know a lot of people close to me and far from me are not going to like this statement, but no, frankly, you do not have your First Amendment constitutional rights on Facebook because you do not own Facebook. They get to dictate the policy they want to establish. Facebook paid for it. Facebook markets it. Facebook takes care of it. And you don't pay anything for it. You don't own Facebook. Facebook is not public domain. You have no First Amendment rights on Facebook. If they want to shut you down for whatever reason they want to, they can do so. Your problem is that you're 100% connected to Facebook. Diversify yourself. Use other social media platforms. Use Skype. Use Pinterest. Use Google+. Use LinkedIn. Use Twitter. And just use freaking SMS texting. But you don't own Facebook. I can't tell you how many people are contacting me and telling me that, Rod, this is just not right. It's not. You know what? It may not be right. But they have the right to do that. And yet you're more concerned about Facebook putting you in Facebook jail than Barack Obama infiltrating and stealing your real constitutional rights. Because you're acting too damn childish about everything else. Talking about the things that don't really matter. Because in the end, do you have alternatives to Facebook? Yes. So in the end, if Facebook were to put the Facebook jail handcuffs on you, is that the end of your world? No, it's not. But government dictating to you that you don't have a right to say what you want to say anymore, and government dictating to you that you have to have a certain product or service like health insurance or you're going to go to jail and lose your freedom, and government dictating that you cannot protect yourself anymore because they're going to take away and confiscate your guns, those are life-altering, life-changing events. Facebook throwing you in their Facebook jail is not. But look, and I know some people are going to probably be out there and think, well, geez, is he talking about me? No, I'm not talking about anyone in particular. But I do notice, and it's not on Facebook then, I've noticed this on other social media. People complaining up and down. The worst, believe it or not, is on LinkedIn. People complaining about Facebook on LinkedIn. Like, wait, this is supposed to be a grown-up professional site here on LinkedIn. Why the hell are you being childish talking about Facebook on LinkedIn? Nobody over here cares. That's why they're here. They don't care about Facebook. That's why they're on LinkedIn. Why are you complaining to LinkedIn about Facebook? There's nothing that the CEO of LinkedIn can do about Facebook. Why would you even do that? That's where my ire gets turned up. I mean, it's one thing to be on Facebook and say, well, I'm in Facebook jail and I can't do anything, and then, complain about it. That's the forum to complain about it, on Facebook. But to run over to another platform and say, well, geez, it's not fair that they threw me in Facebook jail. I'm like, are you that childish, really? Hey, grow up. I mean, we've got too many more serious things that are going on in this country, and you're going to be complaining on another social media platform about a social media company that, for whatever reason, didn't like what you said. And then you're going to complain, well, I've got a right to say it. No, you don't. Well, you do, but you don't have a right to say it on somebody else's platform. It's kind of like you deciding that, Let me give you a very blunt example. Now, you have a right to be a part of the KKK if you want. You have a right to be a racist. You have a right to spew your hate on the sidewalk. You can say whatever you damn well please. What you don't have a right to do is to go on that black man's property, start cursing him out, threatening him, and burning a cross. You don't have that right. Because you don't own the property. You live next door. You have the right to stand on your property, burn a cross on your property all day long. But you don't own his property, so your rights do not transcend to his property. Understand? And for you to focus on that, and then next, the other side of you is a communist moving in who wants to dictate how you live your life, and then he's going to say, well, geez, we're going to have a communist law that says you can't be a KKK member anymore. And yet you're going to be focusing on your black neighbor and saying and complaining that you can't burn a cross on his lawn while the communist is taking your property away from you. This is what you're doing right now, America. You're complaining about something that is meaningless, that you don't have a right to in the first place, while there are people out there who are really taking away your real rights. And your response is to call somebody else a name because you don't agree with them. Oh my gosh. I mean, all you can do is say, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Well, hey, if you're gonna go that childish route, you might as well go the childish route, right? That's all I'm saying. You got the White House out there, trying to get places like Facebook to label you a terrorist, and you're just worried about Facebook just throwing you in Facebook jail. I mean, there's bigger stories out there, folks. Something much, much bigger. Much bigger. But you're not going to figure it out if you're still in high school.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Power Swabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is Ben Gordon with Power Swabs, and if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Power Swabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Power Swabs risk-free, call 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Start training for a new career in as little as 18 days. National EMS Institute's innovative boot camp program will train you for a new career. Learn to respond to emergency situations and become a certified EMT in just 18 days. National EMS Institute guarantees 100% job placement. Visit www.nationaleMSinstitute.com today to learn more about our 18-day boot camp. Or call us at 1-800-497-6732. NationalEMSInstitute.com.
When you're ready to take the edge off a hectic day, I suggest you start with a little music from Franz Black.
I guess there's lots of ways to look at things that don't seem right.
No Worries has just been released on iTunes and Amazon.
It's gonna be alright.
You can find Franz Black and his music on his website, friendsblack.com. F-R-A-N-Z black.com.
It's gonna be alright.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
we just have to go with it.
And now, the
wrong intro.
Politically incorrect conservative black man on the planet, Rod Eccles.
Playing the wrong intro for the bottom of the hour, but I guess we'll just have to go with it. Welcome back. Hey, you folks want to hear what the real one was supposed to be? Because it's new. It's new. I don't know why this. Actually, last night, because as I was saying today, early today in the first segment, we got a new system, broadcasting system here, and I'm hoping that I can't tell what it sounds like. It's still the problem with not having a real studio and having a real producer sitting in here with me, is that we can't hear the feed to make sure it sounds okay. So I have to depend on people that are listening to the program or listening to it later to see if everything is copacetic. But because I was just having too many problems with, I know people are saying we were fading in and out, and I was being drowned out by other people, and other people were being drowned out then, and they couldn't hear me. People could not hear me who were calling in. They were, my mouth was basically swallowing the microphone, and they say, well, you're breaking up. I can't hear you. So we realized that there was some hardware and some software issues. So we changed out some software, and we're using a whole different system right now on the software side. It's taken the place of one piece of software is now taking the place of 3 pieces of software that I used before to broadcast. So I'm still learning the system, this new system. And but I thought I was going to play the right thing, but for some reason the wrong thing came up, and I guess that happens when you're trying to learn a new system. But here's the real break. Coming back from the bottom of the break, the new music. I want people to hear this because, we developed this and I want people to hear it. Eventually, you're going to hear it anyway because it's going to be put in the rotation, but I had planned to have it play now. But here it is. There you go. That was pretty cool, huh? Huh? Come on. Tell me that it's not. Welcome back anyway, folks. The call-in number is the same as it's always been, 603-835-3224. How many of the other guys are going to actually play up on a mistake that they made? Yeah, I probably pushed the wrong button. My fault, my mistake. How many of these other guys are going to admit a mistake? I'll admit when I make a mistake. Happens. I mean, I think that's grown up and professional. Covering it up by blaming somebody. What did you do that for? Well, you probably did it yourself. I don't. And there are. Well, I'm not going to get into other talk show hosts, and I'm not going to name them by name. But if you listen to other talk shows, you know that they're out there. They make it sound like they have more people in the studio than they actually have. They do these pre-recorded interviews, but then they ask the questions live on the air on their side, but their interview was already pre-recorded, and they just play it off as if they're actually got somebody live on the phone, and they don't. And I'm sure if you listen to all the plethora of talk show hosts, you know exactly who I'm talking about. I don't do that. I don't pretend when somebody's here when they're not. I used to have a highly paid volunteer producer that came in every once in a while that helped me, but things have changed and they've gone on to do other things. They're not able to come over and be that highly paid volunteer specialist, producing specialist. So now it's always 100% of the time it's just me. Just me. So if I make a mistake, it is my fault. But usually, I'll admit it. I usually don't make mistakes. It's usually, it was usually in the software that I had, or the cable connection. Like yesterday, cable went down. The internet service went down. Couldn't get on to do the show. I don't know. I don't do the show by cell phone. I know some people, well, you can do it by cell phone. That sounds awful. I did that with the first month or so that I was on the air back in 2009. I actually used my cell phone. Sounded terrible, but that's how you get started. You start small and you work your way up. Anyway, to continue on, there is this White House from The Intercept Unofficial, is what it's called, a piece by Jenna McLaughlin, McLaughlin, McLaughlin. The White House has asked internet companies during a counterterrorism summit earlier this month to consider using their technology to help detect and measure radicalization. So if you're finding yourself being put on in Facebook jail or Twitter jail, does Twitter block people? Do Twitter jail? I never heard of Twitter doing that, but I suppose they can. If you're LinkedIn, the only place I've heard of people getting put in any type of non-sharing type of restriction or timeout is Facebook. It doesn't mean that that other networks and platforms don't do it. It's just I've only heard of Facebook doing it. So if you're finding yourself, being put in lockdown more often than not, maybe they're looking at you as some sort of, for part of their counter, because after all, domestic terrorists are the big issue for the Department of Homeland Security right now. So and don't let them get. See, there's a reason for that. Is because they know they've let a bunch of terrorists into the country. They know that they're already here, and they're trying to find them. I hear all this all the time when they're trying to, tout Obama's success. We've made a 90 arrest over the last 2 years on potential terrorist activity. You've made 90 arrests in the United States, and most of them are not U.S. citizens. So if they were not here, you would not have needed to arrest them. Is that not true? And nobody's asking that question. You're out there praising the FBI. Yeah, I get that. Thank you, FBI, for finding these people and keeping track of them. Yes, that's great. However, they shouldn't have been here in the first place. They should not have been wasting the talents and the time and the resources of the FBI trying to track them down when they should not have been here in the first place. Why isn't anybody saying that? Yeah, the Obama administration, man, they're catching all these terrorists. Well, they're letting them in. Do you not get that? That's like, it's like the rooster letting a bunch of foxes into the hen house, and then the rooster saying, he's let in 10 foxes. And he runs around and says, yeah, I caught 9 foxes, man. I caught 9 foxes. Well, first of all, you let them in, and second of all, you let in 10 of them, and you've only caught 9. Where's the other one? And then the other one, he's able to kill like 5 hens. And all the rooster says is, well, hey, I can't stop it all, but I did stop most. When you could have stopped all 10 from even getting in the hen house. Could you have not? Yes, you could. So this whole notion that Obama's out there, 90 arrests for potential terrorism over the last year or 2 years or 18 months, whatever it was, is a crock, because they shouldn't have been in this country in the first place. And so now we've got the White House, who's asking our wonderful social media network CEOs to, hey, come on over to the dark side. Help us weed out these domestic terrorists. And the story goes on, the piece goes on, we should explore ways to more quickly and comprehensively identify terrorist content online so that online service providers can remove it if it violates their terms of service. So you posting a meme or having a verbal post that is against Barack Hussein Obama evidently is now being construed as potential terroristic activity and needs to be removed, and you need to be put in Facebook jail. Thank you. What, do you not believe that that's what it's all about in the first place? Come on, folks. I mean, the boogeyman is in the computer, but you think that somebody else is the boogeyman when the boogeyman is looking you right in the face and telling you exactly who they are. Now, obviously, in that stupid teen horror movie, supposed horror movie last night that I spent in, that's like 90 minutes of my life I can never get back. And of course people say, well, why did you watch the whole thing? Because you're already into it, you might as well just go through the whole thing. Why the hell not? You know, how many stars out of 5 do you give Unfriended, Rod? 1. If I could give it less than that, I would have. No, but half a star. I'm not recommending it, but if you have about 90 minutes to waste and you want to laugh or maybe even just scream at your TV for a little while, go ahead and watch it. But understand, that is a direct reflection of the way this country is going right now, and it isn't just a bunch of high school students. Unfortunately, we're talking about adults. Well, people who are technically, by the number of years they've been on this planet, are adults. But mentally and socially, not so much. Not so much. Anyway, the briefing that the White House gave to these social media companies suggested that the algorithm Facebook uses to spot and prevent possible suicides might be a helpful model for a technology to locate terrorists. Well, there's your answer to your being put in Facebook jail. Facebook has algorithms to detect you. So once the algorithm finds you, is going to tag you. So anytime you say even one word that the algorithm does not like, you're going to be locked down. Just saying. So if you've been tagged by the Facebook algorithm as being an oversharer, and then you go to share just one little thing outside of your circle of friends, the algorithm is going to see you and is going to lock you down. That's what this article, The Intercept, over on theintercept.com, is basically telling us. Look, they've got this algorithm that they can detect what you're saying, what you're doing, when you're saying it, how you're saying it, where you're sharing, all that kind of stuff, and that the algorithm is designed to find you, shut you down, and or report you to the proper authorities. Believe it. That's what it's all about. They just told us. Jenna McLaughlin just told us the whole issue with Facebook right now. So if you've been tagged as an oversharer, you're going to be. It's like getting the 3 or 4S on your boarding pass, getting on an airplane. Every time that thing shows up, you are going to get patted down. I know it's almost as bad as being on the no-fly list. And you're an American citizen, and you've never committed a single crime in your entire life, but yet and still, because your name sounds or is spelled similar to a real-life terrorist, you're going to be put on the terrorist list, anti-terrorist list. Yeah, and unfortunately, it's happening more and more every day, and we're finding out more and more. Right now, we know of at least 10 air marshals. Now, their job is to get on planes, random planes, and protect passengers, patrol the skies. But the last we know, there's probably more, but they have found at least 10 air marshals who are on the no-fly list. Well, how the hell is an air marshal going to be on the no-fly list? There was 150 people working for the TSA. You know, those people that are screening you and patting you down, who are also listed on the no-fly list. At least 150 TSA agents on the no-fly list. How is somebody who's considered to be a terrorist going to screen out other people who could be terrorists? Do you think they might if they really were a potential terrorist, don't you think they might let a real terrorist through? Well, yeah, but those at least 150 people are still on the job. Those 10 air marshals are still flying. But how do they get on those lists anyway? Because the stupid algorithms that our wonderful Homeland Security doesn't work. So do you think that the algorithm that they're using, this is why probably other social media platforms do not follow the Facebook model, because Facebook doesn't work. Their model doesn't work. Kids are still killing themselves. Are they not? They're still not getting the help they need. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. They want to put the responsibility, they make the mistake, and then they want to put the responsibility of their mistake on somebody else. And then when they do something that is halfway decent, they want nothing but accolades. Oh, give me a pat on the back. We caught 9 out of 10 terrorists. Oh, but we let all 10 in the United States, but we caught 9 of them. Yeah, well, that's not something you should be proud of. You know, these 90 or 85 or 90 or 95 arrests at the FBI is not something the Obama administration should be proud of, because most of them should not have even had to have occurred. Not to mention, how many more are still missing? We just had, where's this story about over 500,000 people. Over 500,000 people have overstayed their visa, and they have not and are not being investigated for such. 500,000 people. That's a small army. Small army roaming around this country. Now, what if it's only 1%? Well, it's not 5 people. It's like 50, 500. What if you just had 50 people? What if you just had 5 people out of that 500,000 roaming around who want to do Americans harm? Just 5. How much damage can 5 people intent on doing damage and dishing out death and destruction? How much death and destruction can 5 people do? An awful lot. So this notion that they're running around touting, well, we caught 90 people. Well, okay, what about the 9,000 people you didn't? What about the 9 you didn't? What about just the 5? What about just the 1 that you didn't catch, that you let in? We let in what's-his-face out in Bernardino, California, right? 14 Americans lost their lives. And yet, some of you cruise people want to call Sarah Palin names for supporting Trump. How childish is that? I don't. You know, my problem is, I know what my problem is. My problem is that I really honestly try to understand people. I try to wrap my brain around all of this. But it doesn't seem to work very well, because I'm a logical person. Now, the White House asking social media networks to do Homeland Security's job is illogical. You can say why they're doing it. I know why they're doing it too, but it doesn't make the reason why doesn't make it logical. And it doesn't mean it's the best way to do it. It just doesn't work. Oh, yeah, well, whatever. You know, speaking of, there is another person out there who's clamoring and shouting for people to grow up, and his name is Boz Bemagaboy. That's B-A-Z, Boz. I'm going to say it's Boz. Boz. Bemagaboy. Bamigboye. And he is a columnist for the Daily Mail, dailymail.co.uk. And he's commenting. His latest piece is commenting on U.S. showbiz. Did you know that the UK, one of their major publications, focuses on United States Hollywood, basically show business, New York City, Broadway, and Hollywood, show business. I don't know why the UK would do that, but anyway, this guy Boz Bamagaboy, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly or not, but Boz is black. Now, I'm going to, with the name Boz Bamagaboy, I'm going to assume that he's probably, he could be, I don't know anything about him. He could be a direct African immigrant to the UK. That's possible. He could be from South Africa or something. I don't know. But anyway, he's saying, and this is the his lengthy title to his column. Oh, do stop whining about the Oscars being too white as Hollywood snubs black actors. Our star columnist Boz Bemagaboy says, sorry, old chap. Most aren't good enough this year for an Oscar. Now, I don't know if he's got a British accent or not, but there you go. But that's always been... what is there? The people want quotas for everything. Still, are there? Okay, so we have the Oscars and we have 100 categories. So, blacks have got to win 16% of that? Because what are blacks? So it's 16%, 13% of the so whatever the percentage they are of the population. Okay, the way they do the numbers on the left, it means that to be roughly, let's be rough with the numbers. Let's just say that, blacks are 10% of the population. Well, according to, the Rainbow Coalition and Jesse Jackson and all those other wonderful anti-racist types of people, in order to prove that you're not racist and to do something fair, in other words, I know blacks are only 10%, but you know what? They got to get 20%, double, their fair share in order for everything to be fair. So let's just say there's 100 categories out there that get nominated and people win on, and 10% of the actors are black. So that means that 20 of those nominees, according to these wonderful people who are anti-bigoted, have to go to black actors and people and producers, that type of. 20 of the Oscars have to go to a black person. That's their thinking. They're, even though they only make up 10%, they got to get 20 of the awards. That's how stupid that is. But you can't make these idiots see that. Well, they don't want to see it for one, but that's just kind of acting. I didn't get any nominations. I didn't want to go. I'm sorry, Jada. Stay home then. You hear that, girl? Stay home. At this particular juncture, I don't care how pretty you are. I'm glad I'm not the one that has to put up with you every day. Will Smith is a much stronger man than I am, evidently, if he can put up with that on a daily basis. Way to go, Will. I know I'm probably going to get blasted for that one, but I mean, come on. Now we got to have quotas. We got to bring quotas. Doesn't matter how good you are. You just because you're simply this skin color or this skin hue, you get special treatment. Hey, the LGBT community learned their lessons well, didn't they?
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom133.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom133.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom133.com. Go to freedom133.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom133.com.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company, General Steel.
800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. Boy, whew, I got a letter from the IRS yesterday, and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the tax doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the tax doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. Again, 800-989-1694.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Welcome back to all you wonderful fans of liberty and all you great and fantastical and intelligent ecclesiastites. It is I, your lovable host, El Rod, coming to you live for hour number 3, fastest 3 hours on Internet Talk Radio, right here on the Rod Eccles Show. From my bunker, being broadcast still from my bunkerized home studio somewhere in the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is still live free or die. It is not big government or bust. I love that motto, by the way. That's right. On this Thursday, it is Thursday, January the 21st in the year of our Lord 2016. It is right. Did I miss a day? No, it is Thursday. Okay, just making sure. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you have so much fun you realize you missed a day. And well, it's Thursday already. Day number 4 of the work week. Well, for a lot of people, some people. Well, 94, 95 million Americans that still don't have a job. Maybe they lose track of time too because they don't have a job to measure their time by. I wonder. I don't. And I got to be careful how I say this. I am not the type of person that can just sit around and do nothing. I don't know how some people who fully retire, I don't know how they do it. You got to have some sort of purpose in my book. I mean, you got to be striving for something. I just don't know. If you can just, maybe I'll feel differently in, 30 or 40 years when I just want to sit in a rocking chair and just give my body a rest because it's just so tired from all the work. But I don't, and I am sure there are probably some 70 and 80-year-olds out there that are not doing very much at all except just getting up and eating and enjoying the daylight. Back in their youth, they probably couldn't picture themselves doing that either, and maybe that's just that's what I'm just gonna have to experience personally. I don't know. But I do understand that some people say that, well, retirement isn't a matter of age. It's a matter of finances and a matter of time. And what they try to explain when they're talking to people about retirement is that in your retirement, you have the time and the ability to do what you want when you want and the financial wherewithal to be able to afford to do it. That's really all retirement is, which is why you have some of these people so-called retiring in their late 20s. You know, they build this tech company or what have you, and they sell it off for $1 bazillion, and they retire. Well, I know some people will think, well, how can you retire at like 29? It's just like, well, you get to do what you want to do. And you're able to afford, I mean, if you want to be a pro golfer and spend all your days in the golf course, and you can afford to do it, well, I guess you're in retirement. According to that type of definition. I don't see myself doing that, but there will come a day, there will come a day, we're all human. There will come a day when our twilight years what is it? No, they don't use twilight years anymore, do they? No, because it's the stupid movie. Your autumn years. I love how they put that. Your autumn years. Your autumnal years. Okay. Anyway, folks, welcome back. I know we cover all kinds of crapola here on the Rod Eccles Show. Stuff that's going to affect you somehow, some way. Stuff that just to make you think and use your logical brain. Here's something from Earl Hall, and he kind of echoes what I've been saying about this whole. Because look, this Hollywood thing, the Hollywood Oscar thing, is a microcosm of what the overall problem and issue is. Now, he goes on to say that some blacks say that Oscars are too white, but then they snicker at the idea that the BET Awards, Black Entertainment Television Awards, are too black. All right, well, okay, so we can have now. This is where the acceptable liberal double standard comes into play. We can have black entertainment television. That's what you want to call it. That's fine. If that's what your program is going to be based on, that I don't have a problem with it. What I do have a problem with is that you saying that you can call it black entertainment television and not be racist, not be bigoted, not be exclusionary in any shape or form. We don't have any whites in there. You're excluding whites. We're not excluding whites. This is black television. We're being inclusive, man. That's what BET used to say when they were challenged by this. They said, we're being inclusive. We're just, you guys got your white stations, so we get to have a black station. But you can't have a network called the White Entertainment Television Network, because then even though they may not be and probably would not be, they would be associated with the KKK and Nazism and all that kind of stuff and being racist, and they'd go bankrupt. They'd be forced out of business. Look, we've seen similar stuff to that happen anyway, so it's not like I'm reaching or stretching on that part. But it has to do with being politically correct. It's not PC to say white entertainment television. That's exactly what it could be. But you can't call it that. I mean, you could call it hillbilly. Well, you couldn't even. Well, as long as you don't use the term white, and if you're white, now I don't know. Maybe it's okay if you could say, I don't know, white Latino. You might be able to get away with that. Because I understand that people use that concept about, well, why is there BET then if you Black Entertainment Awards, if we're supposed to be diversified in Oscars, why can't we be diversified there? But at the same time, I have to point out the fact that it is rare, if at all, that people do not say the same thing of Univision. Because there's the Latin awards too that you got to be a Latin American in order to be J-Lo and Jimmy Smits and all those kind of people. They run around being as proud as they can be to be Latino, and I guess that's to a certain degree that's okay. But it could change too if they start complaining too much about Are there any? Yeah, it's all white, right? Is what they're saying, the Oscars? How come I don't hear the Latino groups complaining? I'm asking the question. Why do we not hear the Latino groups complaining that the Oscars are too white? There are no Latinos being nominated. There were Latino movies all year round last year, right? Yeah, there were. Where are the Latino nominees? I don't know the entire list of the Oscars. I'm just asking why the Latinos are not complaining that there aren't more Latinos being nominated. Because we're being told it's all white, which would mean that there are no Latinos, and there are no Asians. Where are the Asians? How come the Asians aren't complaining? And Native American, yeah. Has there ever been a Native American who's been nominated for an Academy Award? I don't know the answer to that. I'm just asking the question. I don't believe there has been, but what's his name from, speaking of Twilight, the werewolf kid there. Oh, jeez, I can't even think of his name. But anyway, evidently he's Native American. I thought he was of Asian descent, but evidently he's Native American. But he's Native American and white, a mix. But okay. I have no reason not to believe him. But in any event, I don't see any Native Americans being nominated. Because there just aren't enough of good ones out there, Rod. It's not a function or matter of skin color and race. It's how good you are. And nothing else is really supposed to matter in this case. It's supposed to always be about how good you are at your craft. So what you're saying is that if you're black, you should get a pass on being good? I would challenge Jada Pinkett Smith and the evil director, Spike Lee, to, not evil, just angry. Angry man. He's just an angry man. The angry director, Spike Lee, I would challenge him to think about that. Are they big and bad enough, or are they just because they're black? Is that the criteria? They just got to be black. Y'all just got to be black in order to be nominated. Got to be black. We don't care what it is. Just long as you black. Yeah, that's all it is. Just long as you black. I know some people are going to say, what's he talking like that for? White people can't get away with talking like that. You can't. I can get away with talking like a black person because I'm black. I'm expected to sound like that in the first place. Like yesterday, a caller, a young man from the Bronx, young black guy who also happens to be gay and raised in a Democrat family whose mother is an immigrant from Ghana. Can't get more, African than that, I guess, is coming directly from Africa. But he was born and raised in the Bronx. And he said he believes that, and to a degree, he was 30 years old. If I remember correctly, he said he was 30 years old. And to a degree, he is absolutely correct. To a degree, he is absolutely correct. We should get rid of these labels. There's nothing wrong with identifying your outward asset and being aware of that. I mean, in that particular case, I think he was a little off base. But I understand what he was saying. If we continue to focus on strictly our skin color, and understand blacks are doing this too. If you are focusing strictly on your skin color, we're not going to come together as a single people, of human beings, a single race, a single nation. He says, I think. And as I said, to a degree, he was absolutely correct. Now, here is a 30-year-old millennial who was definitely grown up. And that he believed that, using these types of systems separates us. Well, I'm black and you're not. To a degree, he is absolutely correct. And that simply because a person has a certain skin tone, that nothing else really matters. Like, a lot of people say, well, you don't sound black, Rod. Well, great, I guess. Does that mean I'm not supposed to? Does that mean I'm breaking some sort of, African-American or Negro code? Because there's a lot of whites that don't sound like me. A lot of whites that don't sound. I never hear anybody on a rare occasion, I hardly hear anybody say, "Hey, for a white guy, you don't sound white." But I get it. I hear it all the time. You don't sound black. Well, why is that? So I hear what that young man was saying, and he's got a certain point. And this whole notion that Jada Pinkett is trying to foist on other people. Look, you got what, Jesse Jackson putting pressure on Chris Rock for him to bow out because the Oscars are too white. Well, maybe they knew that at the Academy, and they wanted to balance it out with a black show host. In this case, Chris Rock. Now, frankly, it's hard to get more black than Chris Rock, really. I mean, I guess if Chris Rock were to change his name to Makambi Akwembe, maybe he would. It'd be a little bit different for them over there. I don't know. It's just this whole racial void and fomenting of racial tensions. It mostly comes from the left. Yeah, Jada Pinkett, lefty. Spike Lee, a lefty. Obviously, Jesse Jackson, the Reverend Jackson, a lefty. The Reverend Al Sharpton, lefty. Can you see all these left-wing people that they constantly talk about how bad race relations are? And they're the ones that are supposed to be, they're the ones that have the influence and the power in those areas. But yet and still, race relations continue to be terrible to them. Barack Obama, lefty. Oh, man. America's racist if you don't elect a black president. You racist. We elected a black president. Y'all just racist still. Well, we elected him. No, you're still racist. You only elect him because he's black, and that's racist. But you just told us if we didn't, look, I mean, that's the truth. America elects their first black president. America's still racist. Why? Because they don't embrace all his policies. Oh, wait. Some of these policies that America is rejecting are the exact same policies that they rejected when Clinton was in office. Now, Clinton was a white guy. I know he even came, he comes across it. I was really the first black president in this country. I'm telling you, I was. But we opposed that. No racist card pulled. Not at all. And look, like George Zimmerman was a white Latino. Bill Clinton's a white black man. Well, he's the first black president, so that means he's got to be the first. He's got to be a white black. Well, you can have a white Latino, so why can't you have a white African? Or, well, you can have a white African. You can. It's called South Africans in most cases. But, you got a white black. Just throwing that out. Maybe that's a possibility. Just throwing it out there. Look, all I'm saying is just stop the whining, grow up. It isn't all about you, Jada. Speaking of white Latinos, some of you may not have heard, but one of your favorite. I don't know how this is going to affect this particular organization, but you got NPR is reporting that The Onion, the satirical site that comes across as being real news, and a lot of times people, The Onion puts out these satirical or fake news stories, and a lot of times people take them seriously. I admit I was caught up in it one time. Once I got caught up in thinking that the story was real, because I didn't, I do this, I'm just like everybody else. Sometimes I don't really cross all my T's and dot all my I's. I didn't make sure that this was I didn't vet the story. And I passed it off as being real, and it turns out it was a fake story, a faux story from The Onion. And if I had just scrolled down and read the bottom of the meme where it tells you where it's from, I would have seen onion.com and known that it was not real. But The Onion is very good at doing that and getting people to believe a faux story is actually real. No, it's actually kind of hilarious, but they're very good at doing that. But I don't know how this is going to stand, because now they are being bought by Univision. And as you know, Univision doesn't really have a sense of humor. Doesn't. So Univision is buying. I don't know if that means that the stuff is not going to be as funny as it used to be. Probably not. It probably won't be. But I guess we'll just I guess we'll have to see if it's just as funny as the regular stuff or the real stuff or their former stuff. We will soon find out. I don't know if it is. I don't really do you pay attention to The Onion? I don't really often pay that much attention to I don't go to The Onion unless something comes across one of my various social media feeds. Then I'll click on the story or the faux story and get a good laugh. But Univision, the parent company to the nation's leading Spanish language broadcast channel, has just acquired a controlling stake in the satirical news site The Onion. Now, the agreement between two seemingly disparate media outlets was described to NPR by a person with direct involvement in the negotiations. A second person who was briefed on the deal by Univision executives also confirmed its broad strokes. The amount of money involved in the deal was not disclosed. However, NPR has also obtained a memo from the CEO of The Onion announcing the deal to staffers. And the reason why my voice turned into such a voice as this, it morphed this way, because I was reading the story from the haughty NPR.org. NPR.org is, they're very staid and very proper in all of their activities and reporting. So I wanted to make sure that I was doing and giving the due respect to NPR.org that I needed to be giving. Now, Univision will acquire a 40% controlling stake in The Onion, which includes the site, its influential sister popular culture outfit, the AV Club, the social media satire site Clickhole. Yes, Clickhole, one word. And various book and video projects. Univision also will have the right to buy the Humor Company. The Humor Company, not Humor, Humor Company, outright forthwith. The move comes at a time of transition and change for both organizations. As the Latino community grows, is it Latina? Well, it could be both. But NPR hasn't decided which it shall be, so we can use both, if we so choose. And we don't choose yet, because we're NPR.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Power Swabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is Ben Gordon with Power Swabs, and if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Power Swabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Power Swabs risk-free, call 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Start training for a new career in as little as 18 days. National EMS Institute's innovative boot camp program will train you for a new career. Learn to respond to emergency situations and become a certified EMT in just 18 days. National EMS Institute guarantees 100% job placement. Visit www.nationaleMSinstitute.com today to learn more about our 18-day boot camp. Or call us at 1-800-497-6732. NationalEMSInstitute.com.
When you're ready to take the edge off a hectic day, I suggest you start with a little music from Franz Black.
I guess there's lots of ways to look at things that don't seem right.
No Worries has just been released on iTunes and Amazon.
It's gonna be alright.
You can find Franz Black and his music on his website, FranzBlack.com. F-R-A-N-Z Black.com.
It's gonna be alright.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Yes, I see what I did there. There's a certain mode that you can put this software in, and it kept skipping, and I guess I had pressed that mode instead of the other mode, and it kept skipping, because of that mode, skipping to the main intro. So I have to unclick that button, and so it should not happen anymore. But there you go. Some more new stuff. That is good. This is probably one of my favorites of them all. You know what? I know this is something I'd probably do like on tomorrow. Tomorrow is Freedom Friday, where we celebrate on a lighter note, lighter tone, going into the weekend. But I happen to like this bumper so much. I love it. It's one of my favorites now. I'm going to play it again. You're going to get to hear the whole thing without me interrupting it this time. It's called, excuse me, the small coin bumper. Yeah, 603-835-3224. Should you wish to join me here live on the Rod Eccles Show. Look, I hope it comes across how much I enjoy doing this program for you. I know sometimes I bring some, it sounds like I don't because I go off. I know some people listen, they wait for that moment that Rod's going to go off, and they're like, oh boy, there goes Rod, man, he just exploded. But see, that's not fake stuff. That's all natural. That just shows, hopefully it shows my passion for why I'm here. And I hope you pick up on that, and you can share that with your friends, family, and coworkers. Hopefully you're listening to this at work, because, this is 9 to noon Eastern time. I know for some places it is drive time, out in the Central and Mountain time zone, because it starts at 8 and 7 a.m. respectively. But yeah, I really some of this stuff really pisses me off that I have to tell you about. Some of it I makes me feel happy and glad, and I hope I can bring some of that happiness and gladness to your morning as well. And maybe you'll hear that. Maybe you'll probably get sick of that bumper, but that's, like I said, that's one of my favorite bumpers. So small coin bumper, brand new this year, here on the Rod Eccles Show. WND.com. And this is one of those things that is very, now I'm going to get serious as a heart attack here. Okay, putting all the funness aside for a second. This is serious stuff. And Americans had better wake up and start paying more attention. Because Americans, it is, and we're not the only ones that do it, but we do it a lot. And we probably do it in greater numbers than any other nation. And that is, we pay for our own destruction. In other words, we give other people the funds that they need to continue their operations to kill us. You understand what I'm saying? This is how it worked out back in the 70s and 80s when we got most of our foreign oil from the Middle East. We were sending our money over to the Middle East so it could help fund these radical regimes and these anti-American regimes to fight against American interests. And if we didn't buy their oil, they wouldn't have had any money to do that. But we kept buying their oil. And then we'd go, well, geez, we need to do something about them, or we need to go fight them. And we're providing them the funds to fight us. That's what we did a lot of. Well, now it's the same thing. And I'm not just talking about the liberal American either, because the liberals are going to do what liberals do. The liberals just do idiotic stuff all the time and think that they're enlightened and they're being fair. The liberals say, okay, I understand why you hate us. I really do. I understand why you want us dead. So I'm gonna donate to you $20 every month so you can continually, espouse how much you hate Americans. I know I'm an American, and I want you to understand that I hear you and that I feel your pain. And I might even agree with you in some cases, that sometimes as Americans, we're really, 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 really bad. And so I'm going to give you this money every month so you can work through that. I know you'll probably use some of it to, kill other people, but I know you use some of it to, feed some of your people, and I want you to feed some of your people, and if you happen just to kill a few other people, I guess that's just what we have to do, right? Okay, I expect that type of thinking to come from the liberal left, not from the right, not from moderates, not from centrists, not from Reagan Democrat. I don't expect that type of thought process to come from those types of people. But it is. And you're probably saying, well, Rod, what the hell are you talking about? American yogurt billionaire, who really isn't American, obviously, hire more Muslim refugees. He calls on biggest U.S. companies to join the Islamic surge. And I'm talking about the CEO of none other than the gigantic, ginormous yogurt brand called Chobani. Now, for people who've been following the yogurt industry, Chobani just basically came out of nowhere. It seemed like they were an overnight success. Chobani's CEO and founder, well, he's Arabic. And he believes in certain mantras of the Islamic code that is directly, diametrically opposed to U.S. interests in the U.S. Constitution. And yet we Americans will run out to the store and we'll snap up Chobani like there's nobody's business. And our reason is, well, it's so good. And this guy's company has been accused of choking local farmers. He's been accused of all kinds of misdeeds as far as running this company and growing it so fast. But yet we still run out there and buy his crap. By the way, when I found out who the CEO of Chobani was, I stopped buying it. So why are you still buying it? It's still, one of the top three. I think it's the number one yogurt brand in the USA right now. Why are you still buying it? I'm not talking about boycotting for political reasons. I'm talking about boycotting simply for the fact that your money that you're spending on that product is going to organizations that want to kill you. You're paying for your own death. You might as well just go to the cemetery, buy the plot with your own money, pay for the funeral, not insurance money, your own money. Just pay for the funeral and the casket and everything else with your own cash, because that's exactly what you're doing when you buy products and services from people who do this. He's not the only one. He's by far not the only one. But the story, this is a piece on WND.com. For those of you out in Rush Limbaugh's Rio Linda, that would be WorldNet Daily. And it's a piece by Leo Hohmann, Hohmann. Yeah, Leo is in Leonardo, but I don't know if his name is Leonardo or not. He starts out his piece by saying, ever wonder why the federal government would be sending hundreds of foreign refugees to a relatively small town in Idaho? Well, wonder no more. They're sent there, many of them, to work in the world's largest yogurt factory. Twin Falls is in line to receive about 300 refugees this year, many of them Muslims from Syria. And the state of Ohio, despite its reputation as a mostly white, conservative farm state, has been a popular destination for refugees in recent years. They're overtaking you in Idaho. Look, this is by design. Don't think this is just by happenstance. Look, there's something out there called the Free Staters. And the Free Staters, a long time ago, probably 15 years ago now, 15, 20 years ago, they decided that they were going to target a particular state in order to try to take over that state. And then, bring enough Free Staters into the state in order to be able to take over a local and county government by getting these people, these Free Staters, elected. And then from there they would go over to the state level, and their ultimate goal was to initiate some sort of secession proceedings, constitutionally legal secession proceedings, to remove the state, New Hampshire, from the Union of the United States. Thus, foment the progression of the United States being broken up because the federal government is violating the Constitution left and right. So they target New Hampshire. So they're trying to bring in all these people with the notion that if they do bring in enough, they will be able to displace the people that are already here, as far as how they vote, the type of laws that are enacted, that type of thing. It's not a new strategy. It's a time-tested, very effective strategy. And if you do the same thing with other parts of the country, with other groups of people, you can effectively start to infiltrate the livelihood and lifeblood of that particular community or county or state. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. Look, you got cities that have been taken over by Latino immigrants. A lot of them here in New England. I mean, you go into some Massachusetts towns that used to be very, very white, and now they're not. They're very, very Latino. It's the way it happens. Good or bad. But this is what they're doing with Islamists, especially refugees. They're congregating them all into local clans, if you will, and dotting them all across the country in different places on purpose. Because if you infiltrate those communities, look, there's a city in Michigan now where the council is mostly Muslim because Muslims kept moving into that town. Well, this is what's happening in Idaho. Idaho, they're trying to take over. I'm telling you, they are. Our government is helping them. Well, the Obama administration. So right now, they're going to receive about 300 refugees this year. Many of them from Syria. Now, Boise, Idaho Mayor David Beater has gone on record as a huge supporter of President Obama's welcoming initiative for immigrants and refugees. Look, the same thing has happened in a number of different countries, which now most of them are regretting those decisions. Oh, you got countries like Sweden and Finland and Denmark trying to get rid of them now. I don't want to sound racist or bigoted here, but I'm going to be very politically incorrect right now, because I'm going to use an analogy that is going to infuriate some people. But it is a proper analogy. It is the proper analogy for what's going on right now. You've got countries like Sweden and Norway, especially, that are even willing to try to pay some of these Muslims to leave their country because they can't get rid of them. What is happening is that you are getting Islamists, mostly Muslim, and mostly Arabic, and from Levant, mostly Arabic and mostly Persian. They are like freaking cockroaches. You let them infiltrate one particular area, they will multiply, and you will not be able to get rid of them. You think you'll be able to control them. You think you'll be able to get rid of some of them, and you think that you'll be able to manage them and control them, and in the end, you will be overrun with them. And then the only thing that you can do at that particular point is bring in an exterminator with a powerful killing chemical or agent. And frankly, even then, you don't get rid of 100% of them. They lay low, they hang out until they can repopulate that area again. It's a constant battle. Once you let them in, you never fully get rid of them. So is America ready to go down the road that these European countries have gone down? They've let in the cockroaches, the first few, and those few multiplied to a point where now they have an infestation. And they're still trying to play the manage game. When you have an infestation, it's no longer managing. It's total all-out war, and you need to try to annihilate them. Now, I'm not saying that we run around and we start popping off and killing a bunch of Muslims in the United States. Absolutely not. The point is that we need to start stopping them from coming in. Those who are not American citizens and have no real clear purpose for being here need to go away. They need to go home. And those that are here, they need to understand and pledge their loyalty to the Constitution, not to something else that is diametrically opposed to the Constitution. If they're born here, if they're a natural-born citizen and they're Muslim, that's one thing. But if you're an immigrant trying to become a citizen, then you're gonna have to take you're gonna have to take the oath, and that oath is to the Constitution, not to the Quran. We have to make that clear. Because look, they have their countries. If they want Sharia law and all that kind of stuff, then have it over there in their countries. We're not saying that they can't have their own homeland. We're not saying that they can't have their country. We're not saying that at all. We are saying is that just as they deserve to have their own way of life, we deserve to have our own way of life. And our way of life is not compatible with theirs. Plain and simple. And you want to, if I'm a governor of a state, I would be doing everything within my power in my state's constitution to get rid of them. Now, there's absolutely no excuse for you not to. And I know there's some governors that are. I know there are some governors that are trying to stand up to, but you know what? They need to go even further. They need to take on the federal government. And look, if it means state agents in armed conflict with federal agents, then let it be so. If it means that the governor has to send out the state militia and the state police to stop federal agents from importing these people and endangering the welfare of the citizens of their state, then that's what they need to do. And I guarantee you at some point the federal government is going to back down because they don't want a civil war. And I'm not advocating one. I am advocating that we stand up for our rights. I am advocating that you fully understand that you are the employer and that those who work in the federal government, up to and including the President of the United States, are your employee. They do not get to dictate to you what happens in this country. You're supposed to be the one that dictates to them what happens in this country. That's what I'm talking about, standing up and saying no more. It's time that, that Americans, you grew up, put on your big boy pants and your big girl dresses and say, okay, well, I'm an adult now. I'm no longer 16. This is no longer high school. I'm no longer, the Bible has that saying. Bible has a saying of going ahead, when I was a boy, I thought as a boy, and all that kind of stuff. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. Or that's roughly speaking. There is a season. There's a season for everything. Not a song, not just a song, but there's a season for being a child, a season for being an adult. And right now, if you're over the age of 18, if you're over the age of 21, if you're definitely over the age of 25, it is time to be an adult. The season of your childhood is past. Time to grow up. And you have to understand that these people, they want to keep you as a child because they want to keep ruling over you. And once you grow up, then they're kind of like, there is a new word that was invented over on Facebook. I'm surprised Facebook actually allowed this word to be transmitted over Facebook pages. Cry bully. Speaking of Obama. Well, he's going to go on. He's going to go out there and cry over certain kids being killed by gunfire. Not other kids, obviously, but just certain kids. And then he's going to try to bully everybody into his version of gun safety laws. By the way, there's also a story about Loretta Lynch saying that Congress has given Obama the power to basically be a dictator on guns. No, Congress can't do that, by the way. It's called the Constitution. And Congress didn't change the Constitution. So, no, they can't just abdicate their authority on certain things and say, oh, okay, you can. No, the Constitution says no. No, they can't. So Lynch says Congress gave Obama the right to dictate gun control, and that's not possible. Congress can't give. This is not a country ruled by men. This is a country that is supposed to be governed by law. And to say that Congress has the right to give its dictatorial control to a single person or a group of people is, one, unconstitutional, and two, just wrong. They never did. There was no vote on giving. There was no law passed giving Obama gun control, dictatorial control. But this woman is the Attorney General of the United States. How sad is that? By the way, Jane Fonda, for you Trumpites out there, Jane Fonda is organizing a Dump a Trump campaign. Yes, Hanoi Jane is back. And this is from Newsmax, by the way. And she's organizing a Dump Trump campaign. Prominent actors, writers, and thinkers joined a Stop Hate Dump Trump campaign to denounce the billionaire Republican's presidential frontrunner, saying he's a threat to the United States. No, he's a threat to the dictatorial dictates and power of those that you support, Miss Fonda. In fact, he's in support of the United States and the United States Constitution when it comes to that regard. He's not endangering it. But that's not where you're going to get from people like Hanoi Jane. Actors Harry Belafonte, of course, all the old standouts, Kerry Washington and James Fonda, filmmaker Jonathan Demme, and intellectual Noam Chomsky. Who the hell claims he's an intellectual? Among those lending their support to the drive to prevent Donald Trump getting into the White House. So again, they're out there fomenting against something instead of telling us why we should be for what they're for. Good grief. Well, that means we're out of time for today. Tomorrow is Open Mic or Freedom Friday. Just about anything goes. So until then, wash your hands here up next. I'll be back here tomorrow morning. I'm Rod Eccles. This has been The Rod Eccles Show. I'm out.